Hi everybody and welcome to Talking Teal Season 7, Episode 1. I'm Leon Cohen.
And I'm Mimi Torchin.
And we're Lady Parks TV. Nice to have you back for another season of Wentworth and another season of Talking Teal.
And it's nice to be back.
It's nice to be back, and we're on the vineyard, our first vlog from the vineyard as well.
So happy day.
First, actually, order of business, many of you have asked us about how Lola is doing on the vineyard. So how is Lola doing?
Lola is in heaven. First of all, if you can catch her for a second, she's like a whirling dervish. She goes from one window to the next window, to the up the stairs, down the stairs, one room to another room. She can barely be contained. But what's good about that is that at night she comes on the bed
exhausted.
and she just spends the evening watching TV with us. So it's very sweet. She is very happy, and she and Louise are chasing and playing
and snuggling
a little bit. Yeah. Things are looking very good.
Thank you for asking, all of you. Now, we have a little bit of an announcement to make before we get started with the episode. So, unfortunately, we are not going to be able to commit to a full season of Talking Teal for reasons that are completely beyond our control. But we have found what we hope to be a sort of a semi-solution that will help, get us through the season. So, the personal perks are still available on our special, check it out here, on our Indiegogo page for the Lady Parts TV Indiegogo page, not, a separate one for Talking Teal. And here's what we want to do. So, we will, since we can't know in advance what weeks we will be able to do any Talking Teal events, we can't actually collect contributions from you for a full season. So, every week, we'll only know on a week-to-week basis. Every week, once the episode airs, so the episode airs on Tuesday, please no later than Wednesday morning for a full episode and Wednesday night EST, for a personal perk. If you saw the episode and you think, oh, I want a perk for this one, email us immediately when you can and tell us what perk you want for this episode. Once we confirm to you that we are able to do Talking Teal perks for that week, then you can either purchase your personal perk and we will immediately schedule a time to do it with you. Right now we have 6 different types of perks on our Indiegogo page. So you have a 20 or 30 minute podcast with us, a 20 or 30 or 40 minute vlog with us, specifically for Talking Teal. And we have a full episode complete with fan emails like we're doing now, which you can also purchase.
Are you paying attention? I hope so.
It's a lot of information, but it will also all be written in a blog post, laid out. Please go and read it because there's a lot of information there and it lays it out really exactly the way it works. Anyway, if you want a personal perk, let us know. We'll schedule it with you. If you want a full Talking Teal episode, let us know as soon as possible and we'll confirm to you and send out a message to everybody that we are open to emails and we're doing a regular episode, okay? So that's how it's going to work. Who knows? Maybe we will be able to get a whole season. We just can't commit. We'll only know on a week-to-week basis. That's why it has to work this way. So, this is how it's going to have to work, but as far as we're concerned, if it happens every week and we can do it every week, we'll be happy to do it, okay? So please go and read the full blog post that explains how it's done, and if you have any questions, never hesitate to email us at any point and we'll try to help. We're sorry that it has to be this way, but we're hoping for the best. Alright, now, Blood Wedding. I had completely forgotten it was called Blood Wedding.
Oh, well, yes. Isn't that a little bit of a giveaway?
It is a little bit of a giveaway. So, first of all, written by Marcia Gardner.
I should have called it The Red Wedding.
Well, that was already taken. Directed by Kevin Carlin, 2 of Wentworth's Giants, of course, appropriate for the occasion. The premiere of what was supposed to be the final season of Wentworth, and yet it is not. Yay. We'll discuss this later on of what it might mean. So it's called Blood Wedding, and here's one of my favorite things about doing Talking Teal. Lauren did what Talking Teal fans do. She Googled Blood Wedding to figure out where it came from.
Oh, well, Blood Wedding is from a Garcia Lorca play.
Of course.
She could have asked me.
Well, she doesn't have a Mimi.
Theater.
I have a Mimi. So the 1932 play, which is of course about violence and love and the endless cycle of those two. So very, very
Spanish.
Fitting, very fitting. And Rachel did a really nice thing and kind of summed up for us what actually happened, how it starts, how the episode starts.
Oh, well, we start 3 months down the road from where we left off. Rita comes out of isolation, and it doesn't seem to be a secret anymore that she and Ruby are sisters. I was never quite sure why that had to be a secret. But,
we'll get back to it later. I'll tell you.
Anyway, Kaz is on
you.
high alert due to Maori's sentencing, 15 years. Liz is in need of a map now to get around. It's pretty. Over the 3 months, she seems to have
really
declined. Yes, it's very sad. But she's still cheerful. Will is pining after Mari. Jake is pouting over the new site.
So what else is new?
Why does Jake care about the new site?
Oh, did you not see it? We're going to talk about it when we get to Vera, but there was definitely
there was chemistry?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Vera is embracing her baby every chance she gets. I mean, her tummy. You mean she's pulling a Meghan Markle? She's holding her tummy because I don't know how she can embrace her baby. It's still in her womb. Mari's on the outs with her minions on the outside, and Boomer's getting a parole hearing.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's where we start.
Big goings on.
Yep. Most of you loved the episode, thought it was a very good start to a solid season, thought that it was setting up a lot of good storylines. Even if some of them were just a bit on the more predictable side. So let's start with the most predictable one. And really, I had even forgotten that it was called Blood Wedding.
Yes, because I wrote inadvertently a spoiler on our on Instagram.
Yes, and I was like,
yes, because I talked about it, and then I said, now, was there anybody out there who didn't see Ray being shot or killed coming a mile away? And I realized, ooh, really big. You realized,
except
that it was called Blood Wedding.
Of the
so,
episode.
duh.
But I had even forgotten that it was the title of the episode. And first of all, as soon as anybody's happy, you know that they're not going to be happy for long, unfortunately.
Which is an unfortunate trope that I really think should be broken every now and again.
More often than yes.
Because
absolutely.
First of all, there's no reason why she couldn't have had a minute or two of happiness, and then somewhere down the road, when she least expects it.
Except they probably had, actually, and Rachel thought it was a bit rushed. Besides the fact that we wanted the happiness, she thought the story itself was rushed. I think that they had a story to get to, and they wanted to set it up now because they had what they wanted. Don't forget, by the way, this is going to be a 10-episode season rather than a 12. And they wanted to get there.
Well, that 6-episode thing worked out for Game of Thrones.
Well, so to me, it was obvious that the minute that Ray did the banner, the sky banner, and I saw Mari's face, and I remember the conversation. You just asked why it was important that Ruby and Rita kept the fact that their sister is a secret, because they had that conversation telling us how important it is once somebody knows that you have a loved one. Exactly, and that's exactly what happened. But I immediately knew it was going to happen. I
didn't.
What? You didn't know Ray was going to be killed?
I did once she accepted and it got into it, and yes,
I saw Mari's face and I was like, okay, that's what she's going to do. And damn you, Kathy Chambers, you shot that thing so beautifully.
Oh my God.
And so movingly that I let my guard down for 1 minute and let myself enjoy the beauty and the romance, and bam, bam, that's it. So that was a compliment, Kathy Chambers, just in case.
Even if you hadn't seen it coming a mile away, the minute he rode in on that motorcycle with his suit
on the white horse,
that's when I for sure knew.
Yeah, and the music, by the way, was also beautiful. It was so beautiful.
It was great, as always.
Leah Purcell, first of all, looked beautiful.
Gorgeous.
And acted her heart out, and she's such a fine actress, and the range of emotions she had to go through in that episode in general, but that scene, it was heartbreaking. Even though I saw it coming, it still got me. And I resent you for it.
But not damn you, Kathy Chambers.
No, I just mean
bravo.
That's what I mean.
Kathy
That's what I mean. You made me hurt because you let me get my guard down. But it was beautiful. It was annoying. It was sad.
It was sad. It was heartbreaking.
Well, it was annoying to me because I was like, why can't I have a little bit of happiness?
Well, you haven't spent your entire adult life in watching soap operas.
No, I have, which is why by now I'm tired of that trope, like we said. But I understand that it was an important. Again, it sets off an important plot, an important story, and it's just a shame. I loved seeing her so happy. We rarely get that.
Rarely, if ever.
Yeah. So we, Lauren, by the way, just a little romantic aside, it said that at least Ray died. Rita knew that he loved her for who she really was.
Yes,
even though he
that's
knew
true,
the truth.
because she told him that she was a
So
cop.
that was Lauren, ever the
And he
romantic.
didn't care.
Now, it's interesting because Rachel has a few opinions that are very much go against the mainstream, I think, in this respect. The first is, we all kind of, I think, many of you, and I feel that way, we have come to see Rita as our main protagonist, kind of like the morally sound character in Wentworth. But Rachel actually has a different take on that.
Yes, she says that she knows that Rita is supposed to be our new hero, but she doesn't see it that way. I know she had her reasons for killing Drago. But
no, I don't. I mean, she had a reason to want to kill her, but I think her being carried away and killing her was a bit much. But
well, she
still,
said, but it was a murder.
Yeah.
As a cop, she swore an oath. She broke that oath. Did she have a choice? Maybe, maybe not. I see Rita as a dirty cop. I know that puts me in the minority, but that's how I feel about her. So there. I also find the whole undercover cop abandoned in the prison thing to be ridiculous. So do I. It would never happen, not like that. I know it makes for better drama doing it this way, but I do truly hate it when they stretch that line too thin. I can suspend reality to a point, but this part of the storyline just makes my blood boil.
and just
Pisses
as
me off too.
Just as an aside here, we had a new Talking Teal emailer this week, Ryan, thank you for emailing us, who cautioned us that we have a platform, and when we critique Wentworth, we might tip the scales in one way or another as to whether or not Wentworth gets renewed. And, you know, so first of all, thank you. I'd like to think that we have that much power.
I was just going to say, I really don't think we have that power. But
and if anything, I think that we were quite instrumental in helping getting everybody on board to mobilize to try to get the Wentworth renewed. And he did get 2 seasons. I mean, I don't think it was us, but I think that, you know, if anything, we were pushing towards renewing Wentworth, not like saying, oh, you know.
But Wentworth is a piece of art, and art is subject to criticism. We're usually praising it to the skies, but if there's something that somebody or us doesn't like, we have to be able to say that. I mean, it's not. I remember when I first started in soaps, and all the soap magazines were nothing but. You know, like Trump cabinet, fawning. There was nothing of any serious nature. There was no criticism. And we literally had to teach the soaps how to be criticized. We said, you want to be taken seriously? That's your cry all the time?
And that's what I was about
you
to
have
say.
to be treated seriously.
And that's what I was about to say. If I don't critique something, then it's because I don't take it seriously, and I don't think it's worthy of critique. I don't think it can be improved upon, and I don't think that it was ever good enough to want, you know, to aspire for more. So Wentworth, we know, is amazing.
Wentworth is art, for sure.
Yes, and of the highest degree. I mean, the people who work on this TV show are absolutely
and there's
masterful.
no doubt about it. You know, they get reviewed.
Right.
They're
They know how it
subject
works.
to criticism.
Yeah.
They understand that.
And the fact that the show makes us do Talking Teal every week for years now shows that. I mean, if we didn't think it was worthy of it, then, you know, we wouldn't have anything to say every
We would
week.
not be doing this for The Bachelor.
Exactly. So now the other thing that Rachel says, we all assume that Mari was the one who took the hit up on Ray, because first of all, she just had her guy come and say she wanted to know what's going on with the investigation, their own investigation, into finding Danny's killer. And he's like, well, nobody's taking you seriously anymore. You're losing support because you haven't avenged Drago's death. So she knows she has to do something about that. And meanwhile, Allie, we'll get to that in a second, tells her that she can't fully commit to her if she doesn't promise her that she wouldn't do anything to Rita or Kaz. So she wants to do something, she can't do it herself. We know how good she is in convincing others to do her dirty work. And in addition, I don't know, I'm just going to put the 2 pictures up. It seems to me like it's the same guy, the guy who came to visit Mari and the guy who killed Ray. So I'm assuming that it was her, but Rachel says it's too obvious. Throwing a little monkey wrench in there.
Right.
So who knows? I mean, that would be interesting if it's somebody else. That would actually be really interesting.
Now that
Yeah.
would be a plot twist.
Yeah. So, speaking of Allie and So, well, let's talk about Mary and by association, Allie. And I think that I'm going to call her that from now on.
By association, Allie. I was just going to say that everything we talk about Allie seems to be by association.
Yes.
Where is Allie's story?
I'm changing Allie's name to by association, Allie.
What a waste.
Yeah. So they are full on. I mean, they're actually talking commitment. And let's see what some of you have to say about that. So I'm going to start with a couple, and then you're going to have a few to say, a few to read out as well. So the few that I'm going to say, that I'm going to read out, you'll see have something in common, have a common theme. So Linda says, I can't stand the fact that Allie not only kissed Mary, but she let her near our queen's red blanket.
Oh my God.
We're still there.
You're really paying attention, aren't you?
Denise.
Gosh.
I just kept thinking how B would be really disappointed in Allie's behavior. This is Denise. Now, Kathy.
He's dead, Denise.
The whole thing with Allie and Mary is just not good. No, not good. Maybe there's just no way any relationship she has will ever compare to B. And
but that's not fair to Allie.
Bridget, Kate and Susie are two beautiful girls, and I always personally enjoy pretty girls kissing, but I'm not over B. Smith, and neither should Allie be, especially with the woman who pimped her out and got her hooked on drugs. So before we move on to people who had other issues, the main issue for a lot of you is still B. And I know that it sounds like, well, you know, we've moved on. Allie should be able to have a new love. But it's true, none of the relationships that she's sought out so far have been worthy of the first love that she's had, for us anyway, her first love. But do remember, B was not her first love. If anything, Mari
was her first love.
Mari was very critical in building up who Allie became, for better or worse.
Yeah.
So she does have a lot of influence on her. And now?
Eileen says, I'm beginning to wonder what the writers are doing with Allie. Yeah.
You're just now beginning? After wondering a long time.
She and Mary are a total WTF situation. But it's true what Ferguson said when she gave her the hot shot.
Ouch.
Is that what she said? Ouch!
Yes.
She's drawn to strong women, and despite how much I loathe Mary, she is strong. I just feel like the talent that is Kate is being wasted by the writers, much the same way Libby Tanner was relegated to window dressing.
Well, and I think it's even worse.
I think actually Libby had a lot more to do in the short amount of time, screen time.
And Libby was never core cast.
No.
So
Allie was so magnificent, and she had her first year or two were just so beautiful, and she showed such power and talent, and she was so integral to the cast. And right now she's just like,
right now for the last at least 2 years.
2 years, yeah. She's just like there's Allie sitting over there. Hi. Let's get on to the story now.
Yeah, let's see what Rachel and Lauren and Denise say.
All right.
Yeah, didn't I read something from Denise? Yeah, I did. I guess you had more to say. Yep.
Rachel said, I know a lot of folks are upset about the Allie-Mary thing. It makes perfect sense to me. Allie told Mary about Kaz's attempt on Mary's life. Mary confronts Kaz. Kaz slapped the shit out of Allie for telling Mary. Ruby broke up with Allie for choosing Mary over Kaz. That leaves Allie out on her own. The only way Allie gets to be a part of the plot at all is if she's with Mary.
Which should not be the way it is, but it is.
Besides that, I believe we will see a new Allie emerge this season.
Ever the optimist, Rachel.
Interesting. Just slow down, take a breath, people. This is the starting point, not the ending.
True.
This gives Allie an opportunity for some much-needed growth. It will be painful growth, but it's character development, and I'm hoping for some real change for Allie so she has a chance to be more than just a sidekick.
Okay, let's see what Lauren said.
Lauren says, I didn't understand why Allie would become such a shadow of a person. It is clear to me she was just a pawn of the writer's storyline. The writers wanted Mary to have someone in Wentworth and easy to turn Allie into her sidekick. Now that's a possibility.
And finally, Denise, so I know why I did that.
Denise says, Allie seems to be taking on the role that Doreen left off. Oh my goodness. Doreen was always easily swayed into believing the worst of her prison family by their enemies. Doreen did that with Frankie and Bee, and now Allie is doing the same thing to Kaz. Well, I don't put them on the same level, or same level with Doreen.
No, because Doreen was annoying.
And Doreen really never had that much of a storyline of her own, and I think she was never as important as Allie.
No,
was.
I agree, but they're sure not. I mean, she was never as important as Allie was to us, but it doesn't seem like the writers think she's much more important. And finally, Rachel says, I think Mary does love Allie in her own way, but she expects devotion, even if she doesn't give it in return. She does have some significant weaknesses, like her drug use. She'll make mistakes. The question is, will she still be alive to recover from them? I think Mary is in here for the long haul. I think she'll be around.
Yeah.
So that's that.
Well, I find Mary interesting, and I don't want her to be gone too soon.
Absolutely.
Because as much as I don't like her as a person, I like her as a character. I think that she's a catalyst. I think that she's interesting. I think that she's attractive. I think that you never can quite know what's going on in her head, and we need that kind of a character. I think of Rita, who I adore, as being reactive. I think of Mary as being active, even if it's sub rosa, even if she does things under, as you must in prison, you know. So I would be loath to lose her.
Well, especially that, you know, in the first season, because she hadn't been tried yet, then she was on her best behavior. And now that she is in, she's going to be much more active than before, even, I think.
Oh, absolutely. And she doesn't have that much to lose now.
She does, because, you know, it's not like she's in without parole.
Exactly.
Unlike Bee, who really didn't have anything to lose.
But before, she was just biding her time, like Sonia was.
Yes.
And Sonia was quite adorable and charming before she
was different from Mari, but yes, they do fill kind of the similar spot.
I miss Sonia.
I miss Sonia too, and I have more to say about Sonia later, because not enough has been said about Sonia.
Yes, Sonia just sort of a very big character, off the edge, goodbye, the end.
Yeah. Speaking of Mari still, though, Lauren is actually comparing her plot with Rita to Jax's plot with Bee, and she says, I got a very Bee-esque revenge plot vibe of the whole Bee and Jax turbulent relationship, where Jax killed Bee's daughter to show her she was not to be messed with. I think Mari is a whole level of hell worse than Jax ever was, but the whole taking of another's loved one, causing despair, and then very focused revenge is definitely what I am seeing happening at the end of the episode. Mari is in for a real trouble with Rita. I wonder if, like Jax with Bee, Mari truly understands what she has done. I'm saying now that I think Rita may end up being Mari's downfall. I have to say, I don't think it's quite as bad as killing somebody's daughter. But I do think that Rita maybe is underestimating, Mari is underestimating Rita. And
oh, yes.
I definitely think if anybody will be Mari's downfall, it should be Rita.
Absolutely. And Rita has the wherewithal to do it in every way. Bee took a while to get her strength. Bee had to learn,
because it wasn't in her,
really the hard way. It was not her. She came in like a scared little abused mouse. Rita came in full-blown power, full cop. You know,
and she's physically capable, we know that.
Absolutely. So it's a whole different level of power that Rita brings with her. Bee had to learn it over several seasons. The hard way.
So what we definitely see, though, is that Mari mostly likes to get others to do her bidding, and likes to convince others to do her work, and she's extremely convincing. And speaking of which...
I mean, she's just a tiny little peanut. She needs to get others to do her bidding. She wouldn't last for a second, just like Sonia.
Yeah.
If it was...
But Sonia liked to do her own work.
Yes, but she could only do it in a very subtle way.
That's okay, but she still did it, and she took much pleasure in it. I think Mari takes more pleasure in the results rather than the process. Rachel says, Will has just set himself up to become Mari's newest power base. She may not have a crew, but she's going to have an acting governor in her pocket. Now, here's what I have to say about Will. So first of all, Mari breaks off her relationship with him just before he becomes acting governor, but just after Jake sees them and tells him that it looks sus. Still can't get over that word, sus. Kathy, by the way, in her email mentioned, she asked who is going to be, she's interested to know who's going to be deputy governor now that Will is going to be governor. And I wonder if Jake is going to use the fact that he knows about his relationship with Mari and extort him, because we know Jake likes to do that, even if he pretends to be a newly, found God kind of a guy. Also, are we made to think? Yeah, I know there's a bird.
I hear a bird.
Are we made to think that Will is going to find out about Mary and Allie being together? Because there was this kind of a weird scene that I wasn't sure what we were supposed to get from that, where he kind of hears something when they're having sex, and I'm not sure if we were supposed to think that he was going to find out.
He's got to find out.
And then he's going to feel really
he will find
betrayed.
out.
I don't know. Also, I couldn't figure out why Mari was so rude to him when he was being nice to her after they broke up. I don't know exactly what she was trying to do. But some of you wondered why Will resigned right after she broke up with him, if he was truly that in love with her. I didn't see it that way. I thought, to me, it looked like all of a sudden he realized that he had gone too far and that maybe he's been on the job for too long and he shouldn't be there anymore because he crossed the line.
Possible.
That was just my interpretation. But I think acting governor is going to be too tempting.
Hard to turn down.
Yeah. But the Will, Jake, Allie thing is definitely going to play into Mari's trajectory. Other people on the path of Mary's destruction are Liz.
You mean in the path of Mary's destruction?
What did I say?
On the path.
In the path.
Yeah.
In her path.
It was, okay.
Yes, they're in her path. Liz, who is obviously a weakness to exploit when it comes to Kaz, because Mari knows how much Kaz cares about her.
Say that again 5 times.
No! And she's showing it to her. I mean, she's, by escorting Liz back to her unit and all, she's definitely showing Kaz, I can get to Liz. And also Ruby, of course, who is a weakness when it comes to Rita. And then, of course, there's the fact that she's Danny's true killer, a fact that is conveniently stashed away in Liz's memory box. So, all coming together. So that will be interesting to watch how that develops. Speaking very briefly about Ruby.
As briefly as we can get away with.
Rachel says,
no, it says Ruby does seem to understand the sacrifice Rita made for her, but still she insists she's going to box Ruby. Thanks, sis. I know you killed this woman and gave up your freedom for me, but I just want to go ahead and endanger my whole life because I had to give up my girlfriend. I don't understand Ruby. I never have.
Neither have I.
And if I may add, I don't really like her very much.
And frankly, my dear, you don't give a damn?
I don't. I don't.
Yeah, and
I'm not going to feel any different tomorrow at Tara either.
She's supposed to be released in a month. I don't think there's any chance of that happening. And, again, I like the actress. I just don't like the character.
The actress is wonderful. Her. But I just don't like that character. And every once in a while, again, they give flashes of maybe putting her and Allie back together again.
Just doesn't work, people.
They have no chemistry. It's forced. At least Mari and Allie have real chemistry. Yeah. Bad as it may be for her, and we've all been there. Not you, darling.
Yeah.
You can't deny chemistry.
Yep. So Liz...
And you can't create it.
Right. So Liz, Boomer, and we said once that Allie and Rita would have much better chemistry than
absolutely
if she goes for one of the sisters. Liz, Boomer, and Kaz. So Kaz didn't have much to do in this episode besides duck, and actually I love what Ryan had to say.
Right, it was very funny.
Very funny.
Is this my turn?
Yes, please.
The other thing to commend is Kaz's ducking ability. When I first read that sentence, I said,
"Did she mean fucking?" And the autocorrect changed it to ducking.
Or ducking? Was she raising ducks? What did I drop off? Because I was tired. When Mari tried to strike her with the prison shiv, she ducks well. When Kylie appears out of nowhere and tries to stick her,
Striker, I think.
Striker, well, it's S-T-I-K-E, so it's either strike or stick. Kaz ducks again. Evidently, Kaz is well trained as a result of her time with the red right hand. You would also notice that Kaz only eats vegetables, a common consistency in her characterization.
Very observant.
Very observant. Or it may be that she's tried the meat in prison.
Or it may just be, I don't know,
with the vegetables.
I don't know if you noticed a lot of the times when there are meal scenes on any show, because they shoot them and reshoot them and reshoot them and reshoot them, and they have to keep eating, what actors usually do is just try to stick with the vegetables. Okay, Lauren?
I'd love to see Rita and Kaz team up together against Mari. I don't understand, though, how Kaz will keep control of the women with these two powerhouse inmates in the prison walls. It's going to be interesting. I see Kaz as the meat. As the meat in the sandwich a little at the moment, holding her own right now in between Mari's evil and Rita's no-nonsense good. I think that Rita and Kaz would be a good team.
You know, and in fact, I was just thinking back to season 3, which is still my favorite season of Wentworth. And one of the reasons that it was so wonderful was because finally Bea and Frankie teamed together against the common enemy. Mm-hmm. And the common enemy was so fabulous at the time. You know, what happened with her later was...
We're talking about Joan?
Yes, at the time she was wonderful. She was a fantastic character.
When she first came on, she was mind-blowing.
But, you know, at some point, a lot of these stories are circular, these top dog. At some, you know, how many stories can you tell about top dog?
You're in prison, just so many things can happen.
Right, but one of the things that really, really made season 3 stand out to me were that the two of them, who were such enemies, came together to fight a common enemy. And if they can do it this season, I think that would be excellent. And Rita and Kaz were never enemies anyway, but if they come together to fight Mary, that would be awesome. To sum it up, Lily says, I think that Kaz's expression to Boomer about to hope for the best but prepare for the worst is also a reminder for us, the Wentworth family.
Excuse me.
And it scares me because it will probably be painful to watch. But that's what Wentworth is all about.
Well, there's a lot of things that are painful to watch that are very exciting also, yes. And cause that need to tune in again. Yeah.
Now, when it comes to Boomer, she's up for parole in 2 months, which means that she can't be Kaz's enforcer in the meantime because she needs to be on her best behavior. And so I'm wondering, I see 4 different potentials, and it will be interesting to see where it goes. Will she get parole? Because that can happen too. Sometimes we need a happy ending. It's very rarely actually happens, but we saw it happening before. Will she get parole, but much like Liz, and we have this, this season with a new psychologist, also soon to be discussed. We have a lot of talk about anti-recidivism, and will this be the story that will prove success or failure? Will she get out and be right back in? I mean, you know, it's hard to imagine Boomer on the outside. Will she sacrifice her parole because she will have to protect Kaz? That is also a possibility. And will
she... Or Liz. Who knows?
Or Liz. Or will she sacrifice her parole because she wants to stay? Now that she's understood, finally, that Liz is only going to deteriorate until she dies, and if she gets out in 2 months, she might not be there for her last final days.
She might stay to take care of Liz.
Maybe she'll do that. So that will be really interesting to see.
And Boomer has an awfully big heart.
Yep.
And she loves
Liz.
Loves
She's
Liz.
her family. Speaking of Liz, before we do that, Rachel had something to say?
Boomer's up for parole in a couple of months. Now here I'm a little confused. Does this mean that the attorney Sonia hired for Boomer was able to get her 7-year drug charge dropped? Are we going to hear any more about that? Boomer got such satisfaction in telling everyone Sonia was not who they thought she was. I'm hoping we hear a little more about that.
And here we go back to really how Sonia's death was like, oops, blinked and you missed it.
Really and truly, she did not get the death she deserved.
She was one of my favorite characters.
I absolutely adored Sonia.
In the history of Wentworth.
She added so much sparkle, so much humor, so much interest. She was such a fascinating character.
It would be really nice to see...
What was the actress's name again?
Sigrid Thornton.
Sigrid Thornton was such a treat. And to just have her go off the edge and never hear about her again was... I think, really a disservice
And
to the actress and the character.
It would be really nice if we could hear a little bit more about that, around Boomer's parole. It would just it would be really nice for the memory of the character. Now when it comes, yeah.
That's all. I'm just thinking, I wish her evil twin could come back. How evil would her twin have to be to be her evil twin?
What if her really good twin came?
Never as interesting.
So, speaking of Liz, it is really, really painful to watch. I never even thought about it, but Rachel said that they threw in the bucket list storyline to make it a little more tolerable to watch her deteriorate like that. Celia Ireland is doing a wonderful job at breaking my heart.
She's so cheerful.
I know.
Oh my God.
But I'm sure she'll have her, like last season, she'll have some bad, painful moments as well.
And are we sure it's still not a brain tumor?
Well, here's my favorite idea. Rachel brought it up. And she says, I would be thrilled if they released Liz on a compassionate release and then we find out she faked the whole thing. But I don't see that happening. I don't see it. They seem really committed to this story. It's not
really in her wheelhouse.
I would love it, but they seem to really be committed to this dementia story. I don't think that it was in any way meant to throw us off.
No, and it's a very good story, and it's a story that needs to be told.
Yeah,
yes.
and I think that also I was told that in the original Prisoner, she did die in prison, Liz's character. So now
Celia is so brilliant.
Yeah. Now, I have also a few things that I see that could happen, and of course, I'm sure that the writers' minds have even more ideas. So, will Liz inadvertently help Mary against Kaz? Because she forgets, she doesn't know who Mary is sometimes, she doesn't know she's bad sometimes, will she let out a secret? Who knows? Or will the note in her memory box come up? I mean, I'm sure it will, but, in which hands?
Otherwise, why is it there?
Will she, in a moment of lucidity, sacrifice herself to save Kaz? And another possibility is, of course, that she will just die of dementia by the end of the season. It is important to remember, by the way, now we're going back to this, this was supposed to be the final season. And I didn't know this, thanks Lauren for sharing this with us, that they actually went back, when they found out that they were being renewed, they went back and reshot the last 2 episodes.
Very interesting. So they had wrapped it up, and then they went back to
change and
make
leave
it
some
continue.
Right, because we know that we got 2 more seasons. Now, another interesting, also, Lauren, thank you for giving up that information. Next season apparently is going to be shot on a different set. So the question is, I mean, in a different location. I'm actually not sure if they're moving the set or just or completely, because this could just be, for some kind of reason, location, logistics, or like we saw in season 3, it ended up actually being part of the plot when the whole prison went up in flames and they moved into a new place. So it will be interesting to see also if that comes into play.
Well, when it's all over,
yes,
I hope that they will put those last 2 original episodes in the box set.
Yes. Oh, yes. Please, please, please do that.
Yes, because first of all, box sets or even CDs are getting, DVDs are getting very cheesy.
No, they don't have any extra features.
Extra features.
Like Carol, for example.
Nada.
Okay, now, Vera, the baby, and the 3-way. So,
excuse me.
That's how you feel about 3-ways or babies? But we'll leave that for you. That's for us. No! Why did
No!
That's a moment for the blooper reel. Okay. Thera said it was very predictable. You're making so much noise.
I'm so sorry.
Thera said it was very predictable that Vera was targeted. Of course, her walking around the prison with that belly, of course. It did lead to her stepping down. I think that the moment she realized she needed to do that was when she said, give her what she wants, because she realized that she really, really was vulnerable. Geraldine Hakewell, who played Kylie.
Jerry.
I don't know. So many of you have watched Wanted. Many of you have watched the Miss Fisher, the new Miss Fisher series. She can do really anything. To me,
what
her
a find she is. What a terrific actress she is.
To me, the whole episode, all of my people, she was the most moving. I mean, besides Rita's wedding, of course, she was the most moving part of the episode to me. She broke my heart. It was
a virtuosic turn as usual.
Yeah.
I mean, the girl is a splendiferous actress.
Because this kind of role could have easily been played, the junkie. She infused it with so much heart.
And vulnerability, which she is able to show. And then she's able to show strength at the next
crazy.
Moment. And crazy. And
of course, then we find out what happened. And then, it's such a complex story, which we only got in a brief, mentioning as an aside of what happened. And it was really, really an outstanding guest appearance. I don't know if they have awards for guest appearances on, Australian shows, but she should.
If they only had her for one episode, they certainly used her to the best possible advantage.
Well, so
because
she probably was only there for one episode. She was sent to the psych unit, and I liked what Ryan had to say. She said Kylie's presence at Wentworth might be restricted to episode 1. Remember, Kylie had disclosed that she murdered an infant. This means that she would no longer be safe among the general prison population and would be placed into protection. Yes, Kylie is plot-driven, and that is okay. It is absolutely okay, but let me just say, this plot-driven character had so much going for it that it was so much more than just a plot-driven storyline.
It isn't such a sin if something is plot-driven, if they're only there for one episode. Sometimes you do have to do something to drive the plot forward. It's when you sacrifice a long-standing character, like Daenerys.
But we won't go there.
We just went there.
Just for a brief detour, yes.
To serve a plot after spending 8 seasons loving them. That's when it's a crime. To use a character who's only there once to drive a plot forward is very
absolutely, and especially when you do it so well, like you did with this character.
The only thing is I want more.
More, exactly. But Vera did have some lovely moments this episode in the scene with Boomer when she tells her about the parole.
Yes.
In the dining room after she was saved from Kylie, the girls cheering her, the women cheering her on. When she agrees to officiate the wedding. It was a really, really beautiful Vera episode. I wonder if they're trying to show us that, maternity suits her, that it's the maternal instinct growing in her and she's blossoming. Or another thing that could happen, she could also
set her up for a fall.
Well, so this could be a vulnerability like we just saw, but it could also, what our mothers are lionesses, and it could also bring out her inner lioness.
I mean, let's face it, Vera has been threatened so many times with so many different things that I don't even think she needs an extra layer of vulnerability.
And yet she's got it.
Frankly.
And yet she's got it.
I just hope that they'll let her have some happiness.
Yeah.
I really do. I think she deserves it big time.
Rachel also says, by the way, who wants to bet that baby is born in prison? I'll take that bet. I believe that baby will be born in prison. I wonder who delivered the baby. Could it be one of the inmates? Wouldn't that be fun?
Kaz.
I'd love that. I'd love to see that. That's on my bucket list. Now,
a bucket list is something you want to do before you die. So
it's on my wish list.
Thank you.
Okay. Now, on to the new Gidget, Dr. Miller. I know. He's no Gidget. Don't get upset. But he is the new psychologist, so filling in this spot that Gidget left behind. He's a hottie for a male.
Yes, he's very cute.
And he did save Vera by diffusing the situation with Kylie, so that was very, very... I mean, they're obviously wanting us to like him, but you are not falling for it. You're all extremely sus, to quote Jake, and thinking that he's not all that good.
Anyway,
they're definitely setting him up, by the way, for this triangle of Jake vying for Vera's love and to be part of his baby's life, and this new guy definitely showing some interest and something happening between him and Vera. So I definitely believe there will be something in that triangle. But tell us what Denise thought.
Denise says, I think he's no good. There is something about him that makes me suspicious. Or sus. My guess is that he is there to find out about what really happened to Ferguson.
Never would have even occurred to me.
No, me neither.
I mean, Denise really takes it to the next level.
Good thinking, Denise. Yes, I totally believe she is dead and gone.
Are you
Please.
sure?
But I think he might be somehow related to her. I also didn't like seeing him sitting in Bridget's chair.
On these blankets.
But that's another story. Nobody's going to like anybody sitting in Bridget's chair but Bridget. Let's face it.
No, I love it. There's Bridget's chairs, there's Bee's blanket. We are so loyal.
Doreen's bird. I mean, there's
that poor bird. Nobody's
poor bird. No, there's nobody
taking care of Doreen's bird.
Whatchamajookies cookies.
Boomer's cookies. Okay. Totally different. I never even, to me, honestly, I forgot about Ferguson a little bit, which is lovely that I could come to the point in time when we don't see even a hint of her. So Denise brought it back. Thanks, Denise.
Yeah, thanks, Denise.
So a few little other bits and pieces. We saw Miles do a little bit more than usual, which, you know, we're all hoping. Many of you wrote and said that you're hoping that means that she'll have more to do.
Well, let's hope she's not assistant
Maybe
governor.
She's deputy governor. That would
God.
be interesting. I mean, who else is there to be? I mean, we don't have that many guards these days.
In.
Fletcher? You want to bring Fletcher back? So there. I was wondering also if Juicy Lucy was coming back for this season. Poor Juicy Lucy. I don't know if they're done with her.
Juicy Lucy gets paid as an under 5
Oh, that's so mean. Ryan did point out the yes poster at the wedding. You see in the back there's a yes poster, which is a sweet little nod to the 2017 marriage debate in Australia on the referendum.
Oh, that's nice.
On that, yep. And also Ryan has a few little pieces of nice trivia about the original Prisoner series. So Bea and Mari were enemies. And Mari colluded with the Freak as governor.
There was no collusion.
With the Freak as governor to take Bea down. Also, the actor who plays Ray appeared in the original series as Bongo Connors, who was the original Rita's brother.
Whoa, incest.
His character also died then. Dr. Greg Miller also appeared in the original as a general medical doctor, not a psychiatrist, and had a relationship with Meg Jackson. So yeah. I like how they managed to take some of the original and weave it in, but take it to a completely different direction. So thank you for that, Ryan. That was really fun. So where will all this lead? There is so much that can happen. This was only the beginning.
But we have a lot of episodes coming.
Not enough, but we do have 9 more. So, you know, there's a lot that can happen. And as we know, they usually stuff those episodes from, you know,
well, especially they're going to really have to stuff them now that there's only 10 instead of 12.
Yeah, I really want to know what happened in those 2 original finale episodes.
Me too.
Okay. Now, remember, go read my post about how Talking Teal is going to work this season. Every week, let us know if you want to do the episode. Once we give you the go-ahead, let's do perks. There's no limit. We can do as many personal perks as we want every week, but if somebody has purchased a full episode, we will let you know so you can save your money for another week to do a full episode. Okay, I hope we get as many Talking Teal episodes as possible. Otherwise, I will miss them terribly. And thank you for joining us as always.
And thanks for all your contributions.
Thank you. And ladypartsvlog@gmail.com. You can always email us about anything. And let's see what happens Tuesday. Bye.